Various charities have been critical of the government's record so far, as have been many MPs, actually, and worryingly for the government, that includes some Conservatives. So far, the Home Office has issued fewer than 1,000 visas for Ukrainians with relatives here in the UK, and we know there have been more than 22,000 applications. Overall, nearly 2.2 million people have fled Ukraine, according to the UN, and most are being taken in by neighbouring states. But some, of course, are wanting to come to the UK. Now, you can compare the UK figure with around 1,800 visas granted in Ireland and 30,000 in Germany and 500,000 in Poland. So that 900 odd here in the UK is really not looking good for the government. And the main complaint really is that they're taking too long and there's too much bureaucracy. But the Prime Minister says he wants to see all that change and have hundreds of thousands of visas granted.
Yeah, and, let's compare England to Europe, which, countries are coming out on top in terms of welcoming these people. Who's doing the best there?
Yes, well, as you say, I think that the comparison is an important one. Of course, there are people here in the UK who say that the situation isn't comparable because those countries neighbouring Ukraine are bound to have more people passing into them. And many of those people want to stay in countries near to their home country because they have really hopes that they will be able to go back there when the war is over. So to relocate as far afield as the UK is maybe not something that many of them want. But as I said, there's been that enormous number of applications for visas here, and really it's a question of the UK authorities and the Home Office being able to process them quickly enough. Because of the urgency of the situation, many people say that they shouldn't have to do all the bureaucracy before they arrive, as is normally the case. The UK says that it's because of security measures, and despite the war, they still want people to go to biometric registrations, which have to be done in person, giving fingerprints and attaching those to the file of each visa granted. Refugees, of course, are finding that very difficult to do because even travelling to the locations where those biometric tests can be done is something that's very tricky when you've left your home, travelled for many, many hours in a car or a coach, and don't know really where you're going to sleep each night. So there is a lot of attention on this here, and many people are calling for the Home Office to make things much, much simpler.
Yeah, extremely flawed system there. And Jonathan, look, how has the UK performed with, say, Syrians and Afghans who've also had to flee? What are critics saying here?
Well, there's been plenty of criticism about the UK's refugee policies in general, and immigration into the UK has been a very important topic, especially during the whole Brexit debate. But when it comes to refugees fleeing from war-torn countries, Britain does try to accept those that they can. Of course, the issue about the Ukraine evacuations is that this is happening so immediately, so quickly, and the length of time it takes in this war, which is still relatively young compared to the others you mentioned, is the issue here. The government is trying to reclaim control of this story and to increase the number of visas issued and make them much faster. A new visa processing site will open at Lille in France, but that won't be too helpful for those who've already reached Calais, for example. They've got to go all the way back to Lille if they were planning to come to the UK. And the government has appointed a new Minister for Refugees, Richard Harrington, so they'll be hoping that he can speed things up as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Jonathan Sacerdoti there live for us in London. Thank you.